Okay, so in our previous session, we have understood about databases. Okay, so we have understood about Oracle DB. We have understood, right, some meta information, right, like how what all information of a database you have to know, right, and then how to connect to Oracle DB from SQL. We have understood. We understood CRUD operations. We have understood CRUD operations. How to create a table, how to read data, how to update data, how to delete and drop. Right? Okay. Now, $1,000 question comes here. You see, why we should connect to databases through programming languages when we have SQL is doing the job, right? When SQL is doing the job, why we should connect to databases through programming languages? So till now, whatever last couple of our session, whatever I have done, that is nowhere related to Python. Okay, even if it is Java classes, also the same introduction of database I used to give. Even if it is .NET classes, also I used to give the same explanation about databases. Okay, now my question is, okay, let me show my question in uh, one second, in pictorial format, so that you will understand it much better. What I am saying is, you have your database here, right? And that database provided SQL prompt is here, right? Your SQL is here, SQL prompt is here, right? Okay, so when you can able to connect your database to, excuse me, sorry, I'm sorry. So when you can connect your database to through your SQL prompt, right, and you can work with your data, right? What is the necessity for me to go ahead and bring in our programming languages? Okay, so just a sec. Mm, yeah, so what is the necessity for me to go ahead and work with a, why should I learn Python to database connectivity, right? Not only Python, guys, you have to understand we can also connect to database through your other languages as well, like Java. Okay, so this is also possible. Through Java I can connect to database, I can work on it, right? Not only Java, you can also connect to your C sharp. Okay, that is your C sharp, that is .NET, C sharp .NET, ASP .NET. You understand? So you can connect to your not only C sharp, you can connect to your PHP, right? If it is PHP application, through PHP also you can connect to your database. Understand? So you can with the PHP. So this side of the story is, okay, programming languages, right? And this is side of the story is, you have databases, not only Oracle DB. So imagine this is Oracle DB, but there is, let us, another database, as I told you, MySQL. Okay, MySQL DB also you can do all the connections. So try to understand. One, two, 3, 4. My, you can connect to MySQL DB as well. Not only MySQL, likewise, I can have, are you understanding? There can be 10 different databases and there can be 10 different programming languages. There is many to many is possible. Okay, simple statement, many to many. One database can connect to different programming languages, and each programming language can connect to multiple databases, right? So this is what in practical which is possible. Now let me erase all this. Now I will simply ask this question. So when we have our SQL to work with DB, why should I get into programming language is the question. You have to understand yourself this question. Why this connection is required? Tell me why this connection is required when this is possible. Why this connection is required is what my question. Can anybody answer in the chat? Okay, so just give a think of, let me try to also make you understand meanwhile. Okay, see, I would like to this is called uh, you know model view controller, or like three tier architecture. As of now you have only two tier, you don't have hosting server, web server as such. But if you bring in the web server, it will become the three tier architecture application, which is very important. We Every other website today you are accessing, right? So it is all like three tier architecture applications. Okay, so middleware applications. Okay, MVC architecture, model view controller we call. Okay, so one is model, one is view, one is controller. So without backend, without front end, you cannot able to work on any of the application for sure. So I will try to make you understand with a simple example. See, why you should connect means, the limitation of your SQL you have to understand. Can your SQL limitation is write some commands so that will affect to your database. That's it. Through your SQL, you cannot connect to a server. What is that server? Example, Tomcat server. Okay, so Tomcat is a web server which you have to understand. Or you cannot connect to a Gmail server. Okay, you cannot connect to a Gmail server through your SQL, or you cannot connect to a front end UI. You cannot build a HTML document using your SQL. You cannot connect to a HTML page, right? So only limitation of your SQL is only what SQL can perform is SQL can be able to help to do some modifications to database and retrieve some data from database. That's it. Okay, right? So it cannot do these all other operations is what I'm telling. Sir, what is this all other operations, what we are going to learn by doing into this, by getting into this web servers and all? I will tell you. So today, if you do not have this concept, okay, you cannot log into Gmail. You cannot log into your Gmail. Try to go back to your basics. How you will connect to Gmail? Tell me. First, you must have created account in your Gmail. Am I right? While creating your account, your user ID, your password, you have created, correct? And this user ID, password, okay, how does that goes? Let me tell you. This is what your website you can imagine. Okay, so here is what you have filled the sign up page you can imagine. Okay, so all details of your Gmail registration, to that matter any form of any website, you have filled one form. So every form comes up with one, two, three variables. These are all different variables. These five variables are taking the data of the form which you are entering, and this five variable data in the, so see, this UI programming cannot get connected to database just like that. Okay, so there must be an intermediate mediator between the UI and database. That mediator is our programming languages. So that is what it is. We can call, if you are doing some coding here, this is server side programming people call. Server side programming means you are bringing in the your form. Imagine your basic Gmail registration only some 2 3 4 years before you must have created your Gmail account, and today you can happily log in with that Gmail account. So what had happened, tell me, when you created your sign up page, all these details, 1 2 3 4 5 variable details, must have come to one of the programming language on the Gmail server, right? So let's say A, okay, A equals to 1, okay, so B, okay, C, D, okay, B, C, D, E, all these variables you have read from the your form. And now what you are doing is, here there is a separate portion in Python coding. This is called your database coding. Here you are enclosing your A, B, C, E, D data, this variable data, and this box, in this box whatever you write, that will go and sit in a table of database, right? Imagine this is what the table of a Gmail registration table, and in this Gmail registration table you have different columns altogether. This A can come and sit here, okay, B can come and sit here, and C value can come and sit here, E can come and sit here, and F can come and sit here. What are these A, B, C, D, F? A maybe person first name, B person second name, C username, D Gmail ID. What the Gmail ID you have selected, that Gmail ID. F, it can be a password, right? G, your date of birth. H, your address, your country, right? All these information you will give in the form, right? Yes or no? That form details you will have to have a programming language to read and to process, that to send and store them in the database, right? Okay, so imagine your database. This is how, this is what it had happened when you have created your Gmail account, and this is the row, maybe row number some x row is your data, which got stored in a table permanently in the database. Since this data got stored permanently in the database, tomorrow when you created this account 3 years before, right? Your Gmail account you created 3 years before, and today when you open gmail.com and log in, automatically next page comes in. What can be your next page, right? Username, okay, one text box will be there, right? And password, you will give another text box. And what you do, you submit the, you click on submit button. The moment you click on submit button, what is happening, let me tell you. Imagine for a moment, this is what your username and this is what your password got stored in your table database. Okay, so this is a username and password column. What happens is, these two values you are giving enter. Okay, let us say you are giving username is, let's say, Yukti. Okay, Yukti as like username you are giving, and password is YUK. Okay, and 1234 you are giving, something like this. 1234 you are giving, something like this. So that's what you give your username and password, yukti@gmail.com. And so the moment when you give these values, okay, this tab will be a variable A, this next box is a variable B. So this variable A, variable B will be read in the program, okay, again, and variable A, variable B. That variable A and variable B now is been getting connected with the database and compared with these values. Okay, this is your table, right? So whatever the value you entered, your username, and whatever value you entered your password, both are matching or not. If they are matching, immediately database conforms to the front end programming language saying that successfully matched. Okay, so what, when successfully matched confirmation comes to the Python, then Python communicates to your front end saying that, okay, successfully logged in, and immediately this page will be moved to your inbox page. Okay, your inbox page. Okay, so inbox page means what, you where you can see all your emails in your Gmail. right or wrong? The moment when you give email ID password, automatically your email ID and password are read in a front end program, and those values will be compared with the database, and database will respond saying that yes, values are matched, so that it will move to the next page. If values are not matched, database will tell to the front end programming language saying that values are not. You have to build code here in such a way that if values matched, go to the next page. If values not matched, send redirect to the same page only. So same page only gets refreshed, and an alert, small red color message will come. Your user ID password is wrong. Am I right or wrong? Your user ID password is wrong. So let me try to show that. Okay, so roughly, if you want to take this diagram, please take, to whatever extent you have understood, please take. This is very, very important architecture, right? So this is how your front end back end applications will work. To what extent you can take, you please take. I will give 1 minute time, and then I will proceed with something else. So shall I proceed? Okay, let me do that. Okay, so now let me erase this entire screen. Okay, so a simple example I will show. Okay, so first let me resist. Let me click on sign out. Okay, so let me use another account. So basically, you see, I am entering uh, Yuktesh C at. Okay, so this again redirects to one sec. Okay, Python ML at Gmail. Okay, the moment when I click on next, you see, so this text box contains a variable saying email. Okay, so email is it. So this kind of code you need to build in the web development. Okay, that you will learn how to build this text box, and this is a variable which is this in this variable you Python ML is a value will come and store. Okay, so and this variable value will be sent to the database. That's how it looks like, it works. So now let me click on next. Next is also a button. You have to create these buttons. Okay, the moment when I click on next, password. Okay, now what I will do purposefully, I will enter a wrong password. Okay, so A B C D E F G H I J K L, some wrong password I'm entering. Clicking on next. Yeah, so tell me what had happened. The moment when I clicked, what had happened? The password. Okay, so password also will go and store in a uh, another, the next box which have come, the password will go and store in a different way. So these two values will be read by a programming language, and that programming language will get compare these values with a table which is present in a database. So for that reason, connectivity is required. Understand it? Come in this minute, what had happened? It compared, it checked, and it understood database as my values have not matched. Database, yeah, Google database has thrown an error. So my Google programming, in Google, whatever the programming language they have used, in that it is showing that they wrote a print message saying that wrong password, try again or click forward. So this is what the message through programming language coming to our UI. Okay, user interface, that is web page. Understand? So now, is this is only for Gmail, sir? This mechanism will be there for every other website. Am I right or wrong? You go to any website, login, sign up, and login is a very basic modules which you will build. Am I right? So now tell me, don't you think this concept is important? Understanding Python to database connectivity, to that matter, programming language to database connectivity, right? So if it is, since you are learning Python, I am here responsible to teach you how to connect to Python to database connectivity, right? If you are Java students, I will help you how to connect through Java language to a database, right? And I'm telling you know, the JDBC, it is called Java to database connectivity. Okay, there were plenty of jobs while back on this, 10 years before I know how to do 10, not 10 years, in like some 15 to 18 years before, I know, not 15, okay, so I'll say like 12 to 15 years before. Okay, so when I was in just about to complete engineering, in the middle of engineering, so JDBC was so popular. Okay, so you go and stand in the Amirpet signal saying that I know Java to database connectivity means, people were ready to give 4 lakh, 5 lakh packages 15 years before I'm talking. Okay, today speaking, the 4 lakhs is 40 lakhs or 30 lakhs. Am I right or wrong? Right? So such important concepts are these. And you know what? To learn JDBC, it will take, if it takes 20 hours for you, it will take 20 hours for, I'm just giving an estimation. Python to database connectivity, Python to database connectivity. Okay, it will take, okay, so today I don't write so popular as such, because this must be in your blood, right? Software developers are so much wherever, right? So but this is need of the hour, you have to know. Okay, I don't want to say the important competition as of now, but Python database connectivity you can do learn in 2 hours of time. Okay, so just 2 hours is required. Okay, so how tough, which is tough, which is easy, you can understand. Here in Java you will have to get connect with the interfaces. Okay, so there is an interface called SQL. Okay, so in the SQL interface you will have like 7 to 8 classes, like connection interface, result set interface. Okay, result set metadata, database metadata. Okay, so a huge amount of code you have to write in Java. But when it comes to Python, as I told you, 2 hours is good enough, right? I will tell you how you have to do Python database connectivity in now. Okay, so let's, but the very first thing what you need to ensure is, okay, database must be installed. Next step what you need to do is, you need to install a third party module called cx underscore rkill, right? Sir, why do we need to install cx underscore rkill? Because your Python, see, not all people who are learning Python wanting to work on rkill db. As I told you, if you remember, when I discussed the concept of third party module installation, right, I said, right, Django who will install, who are interested in working on web applications, likewise, and who will install NumPy, who are working on who are interested in working on your data analysis, data visualization, right? Those folks only will install your Pandas and Matplotlib. Who are willing to work in machine learning, they will install sklearn. Likewise, people who are interested in working with rkill, only those people has to go ahead and install exclusive module called cx underscore rkill, right? So install this module using pip application. So I don't have to make you understand what is pip application. You have already got introduced to this pip application. Okay, so from command prompt, from cmd. So how do we do that? Let me go ahead. So before doing installation of third party module, what is the best practice? Go and check whether your module is present or not, right? Go and check whether module is present or not. Import cx underscore capital O. So there is no module present in my mission cx underscore rkill. So what I'm supposed to do is, I have to go ahead and install this. Okay, So quit. So CLS. Now I am in C users Lenovo. I would like to go. Where is my Python install? Python create in Python 8. I told you. Scripts is the folder where you have to go and install. PAP install. What is the module you have to install? Arkill, right? No semicolon. We are into Python. You are understanding, I hope, right? So clicking on enter, it will get installed. So what is mandatory? Internet is mandatory. So you please see my Python package, which is helpful for connecting to Arkill DB CX underscore Arkill is under installation. So it may take 1 2 minutes of time. So yes, okay, so it is working fine. So basically it got installed. The version of module is 8.0.1. So you have to really you don't have to really bother about the versions and all. Obviously it will get the latest versions for us, right? So CX underscore Arkill module is ready for us. Now let's go ahead and see whether it is okay. Now move back to your SQL plus only. Okay, so username is what? Python dev 1, Python dev 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Successfully connected. So screen, clear screen. So I am ready with my SQL. Okay. So now come back here. It's always better, good practice, close your Python once. Okay. Whenever if you installed any new modules, it is always good practice, close once, so that patches and all, if anything were got newly added, it will sync up. Okay, let me close all the Python stuff. I did closed, and let me open idle once again. One second. So when Python is running, sorry, when Arkel is running, your system will be dead slow. That is what you have to understand. So, but my Python is up and running. So Python is up and running. Now import cx underscore Arkel. Now it is working fine, all good, right? So let's go ahead and start learning our first program. Control N, Control S. Okay, so let me do. So Inti is a one of the popular college in Malaysia. So yesterday is what I did delivered session for them. I was telling you, right? Hmm. Okay, so now let's move to here in this folder. Okay, so DB1 is what my program, DB1. Okay, so now let's first, Python to DB connectivity program. Okay, so there are some basics you have to understand here. So what I'll do is I will straight write program and I'll try to make you understand these basics. Okay, so what is the table we have? Tell me. The table what we have is employee table. I'm correct. Employee table we have. So we'll try to we'll read this table data. Okay, read operation we are performing. Okay, right. Okay, so you see, first and foremost step what you need to do is you need to, I'm telling very important thing. See, all the theoretical part of the concept of Python database connectivity is almost all over. Now if you focus on with this one program, I am telling you can close the class and you can go back and enjoy your Sunday. Why? Because second program onwards, 60% of the code is similar for all programs, right? The other 40% of the code only gets vary, and those codes you can able to even look into my notes and understand. So, but my interest is I want you all to focus on the very first program thoroughly, right? So you have to import your module. Once after importing your module, all cx underscore module properties will come. So what you need to do is cx underscore kill, using which module there is a function called connect you have to call. So what you have to do here is you have to pass on some actual parameters of these functions. Am I right? A function. Am I right or wrong? When you're directly calling your connect function, in the sense you are passing actual parameters. So you need to pass four actual parameters. So what are these four actual parameters? Your username, okay, your password, okay, and for which mission you're connecting, IP address, and your service name, okay, instance name or service name. So these are the uh, four details you need to provide for your mission. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I will, okay, so I'll make it comment. And what happened? Control C, Control V. Okay, so now you see username. What is the username which we have created? Python dev 1, correct? Right. What is the password of this user? Python dev 12345. Right. Now, what is the IP address? I told you Python software is there in my own computer. So you have to route your program to your own computer. So that you can do by putting localhost. Localhost refers to current mission IP address, and your Arkill DB service name is ORCL. This is default. Okay, so ORCL. So okay, so this is what you have to do. Service name, not only service name, port number, okay, slash service name. So this is how you have to give. So what is the port number? 1521 is the port number. Okay, any doubts in this line, tell me. Okay, you have to understand this thoroughly. What is happening? You have downloaded, you have imported this module. This module, using that module, you are calling a connect function. Connect function is taking the four parameters and trying to establish connection. Okay, so you see, what if it is, what if I have to tell you, here is what your Python is there, right, and here this side is what your, right, okay, so you have to establish first connection, no, right? That connection is happening through your connect method. So what are all you are giving to the database? You are giving who is the user, user ID, password, and you are saying which mission it is coming from. So and I mean your sorry, your database is from which mission you are telling, and database port number you are telling, and your service name. All details you are positioning in the Python program. Try to understand. Okay, understand, right? So connect method will does that. Okay, so what happens is, the moment when one second, when you do this line, a connection object gets generate. Okay, connect method helps in bringing out a connection object. Fine. So what is this connection object? For what we have to use this? Ultimate goal of yours is you have to create a cursor object. So cursor object, how it will get created is, if you call through connection object con, you call cursor method. The moment when you call cursor method of your connection object, it will bring out a cursor object for me, right? So see, this is dependency is there. I will explain once again all steps. Don't need to worry. Why I have created cursor object is, I wanted to call a method called execute, right? So why should I call a method called execute? Because I will tell you, all your database related coding can be done in method only. You cannot do database level coding here, you cannot do database coding here, you cannot do database coding here, or in some other steps. only the parameter of execute method is what your SQL coding is what you have to give. Other than this, you cannot give SQL coding in Python programming language, right? Only here itself you have to give SQL coding, SQL commands, right? So you have to ultimately use execute method. Why? Because I wanted to connect to database. How I can call execute method? Execute method you can call only by using cursor class object. So cursor object. So cur. Okay, so before that line you have to ensure cur object is made available. So how cur object is made available? We can make available only if you call the cursor method. How can I call the cursor method? Using only connection object. So before this line, you have to ensure connection object is ready for us. So how connection object will get ready for us? Only if you call the connect method of cx_oracle module. Understand the dependency? Ultimately you need to execute this method, execute method. For that you have to have cursor object. For that you need to call cursor method. For that you need to have con. So for that you need to create con. To create con you have to call the connect method, right? So that is what the understanding. Now let me erase all. Now you see, here is what you can do your select star from employee. This is what the table. So in this, as I told you, in the execute method only, you have to write your SQL coding. Okay, fine. So so what you have done is, okay, so you are trying to read the data. So how many lines are there in employee? How many rows are called tuple? Okay, tuple. In database you will read the rows in the form of tuple. Sorry, in Python you see, for each row in cur object. So here this cur has got that 6 rows which I have created in your, where is that? Okay, so select star from employee. Can you see that there's a 6 rows which I have created in the SQL prompt I typed? Now let's see the same command I'm typing here in the Python for each row in cur. So this cur is kind of your list, contains all 6 rows. For each row in in LST, something like that. For each in cur, print each row. Instead of each row, you can also give I hope you know that, right? Okay. Now you have fetched this. Okay, this print will display output in the monitor. Now what happens? So how many objects you have opened? Tell me. Connection object you have opened, and through connection object you have opened cursor object. Now accordingly, okay, you have to close your cursor object. Cur dot close comes first, and then connection dot close. So the moment when you open it, connection established. First line helped me in establishing connection. Okay, so this line helped me in establishing connection. Okay, connection established. Okay, so this line helped me in creating cursor object. This line helped me in sending command to database. This, so, and database responded to all the data in cur. Now what you are doing, these two lines are helping us to fetch the data in our monitor, and these two lines are closing your main door, closing your main gate. Okay, that's what your program is over. So control S, I saved, run module. So yeah, so what's the error it is giving? Type error, an integer is required. Got type str. Think 1 second. Is that my mistake? Yeah, sorry, my mistake. I have taught you with the 4 parameters. It is not 4 parameters. Forgive me, it is 2 parameter. IP address colon port number slash URL. Okay, service name. So this is how you have to give. Localhost colon 1521 slash ORC. Only 3 parameters: username, password, and system information and database information. Okay. So now what's happening? You see Control S F5, connection got established, right? So and then the data 101, 102, 103, 104, which is there in your database, we managed to read into our Python program, right? Yes or no? Now you see, let me do uh, a insert into employee values. Let's try to insert 1007 comma. Okay, so Shravan is the name, comma. Okay, so Shravan has got, let's say, 52,000 salary, comma. And so Shravan also belongs, okay, Shravan belongs to Bangalore. Okay, so, right? So one row created. Don't bother, same as it is Bangalore, semicolon, uh, closed parenthesis and semicolon. That's it. Now you see, select star from employee. You can see 7 rows, right? Okay, come back here. Now try to execute this program once again. Okay, F5. What you can see here, when I executed, you can see only 6 rows. Like last time, you can see only 6 rows. You cannot see 7th row just now got included. What is that? Shravan. Why? Why Shravan got not included? Because this is something like you have written in your Word document, but you have not saved. You please see commit I am doing in the database side, right side. Okay, so now 7th row Shravan data has come and saved properly. Now come back to your program. Now rerun your code. Run module. Can you see now Shravan data has got included? Are you understanding? So your database, your Python program will read only saved data, right? Unsaved data it will not read. That is what the point you have to understand. Okay, so this is how you will connect to your database, right? So I hope you have taken this program. So I'll give 1 minute time. I will show a next program. Just give me a minute, I'll come back. Just take meanwhile. Okay, so let's proceed with our next program. Okay, now reading is over. Okay, control Z, control S, control N, control S. So db2. Right, now let us try to create a table. Create a table in Archil DB from Python program. This is what it is. So what is the very first statement you have to do? Cx underscore Archil. What is the second statement you have to do? You have to call, okay, Cx underscore Archil as uh, you know, Q. Now con is equals to, so con is always UAN. No, you should understand that is a variable. That's it. Now Q dot connect. I hope you are understanding. You do not have any doubts in aliasing, importing as such, right? If you still have doubts, you are unfit for Python, right? So now Python dev 1 comma Python dev 1 2 3 4 5, right? And localhost colon 1521 slash orcl, right? So this is the mandatory step. Now cursor object car is mandate, no, you can do double r also, just an object. So con dot cursor, but this is cursor only, you cannot write one more r. I hope you are getting, these are standard methods, right? So cursor object, you have to call execute method. So your end goal is you have to utilize execute method. Execute is the only method that helps for us taking the SQL code, understanding. So you have taken your execute method here. Now so till here every other program logic is the same. First four lines of program of every other concept is the same in Python database connectivity. Now here let's try to give our own code. Create table name like student. Okay, so student sno int comma s name. Okay, varchar 2 of 20 comma s marks, student marks. Okay, so in number also you can take, but I'm just giving int. Okay, so that's how it is, your code is been executed. Okay, so the code what you write in your rkill, the same you have to write here, right? So your table got created, you can write a print statement, table successfully created. And it is always good practice after connection if you write print statement. Okay, connection established successfully. Okay, for debugging these messages will help a lot. Okay, so table successfully created. Now you don't have to write any for loops as such. Why? Because you are not reading data, you are sending something, you are creating something in the database side, correct? Okay, now what you have to do is straight away car dot close, connection dot close, right? Control S F5. So two statements got executed perfectly. And also okay, I missed writing one statement here, print. Okay, connection closed, connection successfully. As I told you, it's only for our understanding, successfully closed. Technically this prints will not do anything, but I'm not executing this line once again. Why? Because student database is already created, table is already created, it will give error, right? So since it got already executed, come back here. Now you see, select star from student. You see no rows selected. Means what? I have created table in the database Python side, and here is what I'm trying to see the result. So successfully got created. Now let me do one thing. Here I will show, instead of student 1 will try to access. There is no table of student 1 in the database, correct? There is no table of student 1 in the database. Let us create table 1 in the database. Let us create table 1 in the database. But what I will do is, I will not use this bottom code. Okay, control S. Okay, I am not closing. You see what happens. Control S F5. Okay, the moment when I click on connect, automatically when I click on F5, automatically those got executed. But you come and see here. So what it is doing, okay, no rows selected, so it means our understanding. One second. Okay, so So basically what is happening here is without connection closing I have done, but still it is got executed, but this data will be not saved. Let me close this idle SQL plus. Let me open SQL plus again. CMD SQL plus. Okay, so your Python dev 1, Python dev 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So select a star from student 1. Oh, okay. So data is getting stored, but point is uh, connection establishment. Okay, so I'll try to insert one data, one last program for today. Control N. So what I'm trying to highlight is, a commit is very important from your side. If you don't commit, data will not be saved at the both sides. So last program will do. So inserting a row from Python DB to Orkill, sorry, Python to Orkill DB. Okay. So one last time we'll do this program, import cx underscore Orkill. So now x equals to as q. Okay, q dot connect of, okay, Python dev 1, Python dev 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Localhost /1521 colon orcl. Okay, right, connection established. So your cursor object is equals to x dot cursor. Okay, so cursor dot execute. Till here story is same, right? Now what you need to do, insert into table name is what, student 1 values. Okay, so what I have taken, student name, student SNO is like, let's say 101 is a student ID, student name is, let's say, uh, Banu. Okay, and marks is what I've taken, right? So 78 is what marks he has got. Okay, now yes, just close this, close this, close this. Right now, let me not so car dot close, connection dot close. Okay, so control S, DB3. Okay, control S, F5, con dot. Okay, okay. So X dot close, control S, F5. Okay, so program successfully executed without any prints. I have shown this program for now. Now let me go to your SQL. So here SQL, yeah, this is what I was trying to show. So basically, you see what I have done is even though I have closed, okay, but point is you have tried inserting one row, right, with Banu as like value, but it is not coming into the database, right? If it is not coming into the database, so whatever you have done is going waste, right? Understanding my point? The cursor is like your pencil or pen. Imagine with the pencil or pen you inserted some data, and now what you did is you have closed your pencil, okay, or pen, and before closing your book you have to save it, right? So what you have to do, you have to do x dot commit. Okay, this statement is very very important. X dot commit. So what is this X connection dot commit? Okay, so now let me execute this line. Okay, same program, same data I'm storing. Okay, so control S F5, that got executed. Come here, and now let me go up and hit on enter. Now Banu will come. Understanding? So if you want, you can check once again. Same, I will not do commit. Now this time I will enter second student data. Okay, so Swapna. Okay, so she has got, let us say, 65, 67 marks. Okay, now commit is not I'm doing, control S I'm doing, F5 I'm doing. So from database side, data has gone, but come this side and see, you will not see Swapna data. Why? Because you have not committed from the programming language side. You now committed, you saved it, you come back here, and you up arrow, you can see Swapna data as well. I hope you have understood, right? So this is how you will have to start working with your Python and database connectivity.